Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. #1 best-selling author and best-selling author many times over. We're here to answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225, but that's 888-825-5225. And you are here also to announce a new offering today, a new thing you did.
A new thing, yes.
A new thingy.
So thanks for having me on.
Sure.
And yeah, I came out with my new wallets a few months ago, and the colors were black and camel, anyone wondering. But I was like, I want to design a fun wallet that you can use the cash envelope system, but yet, as a woman, it's cute and you get to carry it. So we did a special. It's a limited edition, so we only ordered a pretty small amount, honestly, so you'll have to get it soon because it probably will sell out in the next day or two. For Mother's Day, but a metallic blush color.
Blush. Sounds like a punk rock band.
Which is...
Metallic blush.
Oh, look at it on camera. I mean, it's just the most beautiful thing ever. It's my favorite. I mean, I was like, okay, I have every color, but I was like, no, I want to use this. But what's also great about these wallets is we partnered with Join, which is an incredible organization. They make authentic leather goods, and they're incredible. They take people in parts of India that need a job to literally feed their family.
And to get off the street.
And get out of, other sectors of life that are just terrible. And so they give them, these women and men, jobs to create this. So they're the ones that actually make it. And so it's amazing. So it comes from India, and then every wallet comes with a card of the person that made it. So it's handmade, authentic leather, and it's just beautiful. There's 10 card slots in here. So for gift cards, debit cards.
This is like QVC or something.
Oh man, I should
demoing your wallet. This is great.
No, but then it has like the envelope systems there in it.
Yeah.
And a pocket for change, zipper, gold accents. It's just beautiful. So we did it for Mother's Day. So if you need a gift for your mom, you can get her
Rachel
the
Cruz
new wallet.
Metallic blush.
Oh yes.
I'm telling you, that's a great name.
Well, we did. Thank you. I didn't name the color, but that's the name of the color. But we polled my tribe and people that I bought the wallet, and I'm like, hey, if you want another color, because that's what they keep saying, we want another color. And it was like pink, light pink, blush pink, 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 pink. We want pink, we want pink. And so the metallic pink is
there. It is.
It's beautiful. Yes, 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 yes. So again, you can go to RamseySolutions.com to order it. We have a limited quantity, and then it's going to be gone forever. Yeah. But it's
so it does. It has the whole envelope system built in, 10 debit card slots built in, coin pouch, wristlet, the whole thing. And our product guys have worked very, very hard on the development of this thing for the other two colors to start with, and then adding this color to it. And the truth is, I had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. Rachel had a little bit to do with the design, speaking into it, and so it would do what she wanted it to do. But RamseySolutions.com, and just check out products, or go to the store, and you can get the new metallic blush
wallet. And in the inside of the envelopes, it's like this mauve color in there. With the plaid. Oh,
yeah,
it's
so important.
It's just very pretty. All the ladies will appreciate it. I
have no idea. I would imagine you're right, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So check it out, Dave or RamseySolutions.com/store, the metallic blush. Rachel Cruz. And we really, you guys will know out there that the supply chains are all screwed up. Shipping lanes are all screwed up. Getting stuff here from another country, or getting stuff here from North Carolina is dadgum near impossible these days. So, we really did end up with a limited quantity because of everything so screwed up. And so that's not like...
Well, and we did it because we didn't... And, the logistics of it, but also it's a color that's not going to just be consistent like throughout the years. We decided let's just do a fun new color. But
and then you're not going to make it anymore?
No, not the blush, no.
Oh.
Yeah, it's done after this.
Oh, so it's like Beanie Babies. You're going to run out.
It's like Beanie Babies.
You're going to run out.
The Princess Diana.
You're kidding. We went to all this trouble just for a few hundred?
Not a few thousand.
Few thousand?
2,000.
Oh, my gosh.
But it's already selling, like yesterday. They sent a text out to people that signed up for the early one. Yeah, I mean, it's still, no, it's not gone.
It's not gone, but it's going to go.
I keep getting updated numbers, and it's fun. It's great. Hopefully people can handle their money better,
There we go.
with a metallic blush wallet.
Open phones this hour as we talk about your life and your money and your metallic blush wallets. The phone number is 888-825-5225. I cannot believe we're doing this and they're going to run out and never get more after you've made a hot product. That just runs against my whole way of marketing things. You should always sell until nobody wants to buy them anymore.
We have the camel in the black color.
I know. I just didn't know we were doing that. So I learned something new every day live here on the air.
You didn't come to the meetings, so
that's
we'll
true.
Just say that.
Probably wasn't invited, but there you go. So, all right, open phones again at 888-825-5225. You jump in, we will talk about your life and your money. The other thing you can do with is you can check out Rachel Cruz's show. It is, of course, on Facebook and YouTube live, and the podcast is huge. Tons of people attending that, and be sure to check that out at rachelcruz.com or ramseysolutions.com, and you can find any of our personalities, anything they are doing, and plug into the podcast and the YouTube live streams and the whole bit. So the 14-day money finder is out there as well. Sign up for this 2-week challenge on rachelcruz.com. The average person's finding an extra $2,000 with these 14-day money finder, which means they get something new every day to look for money.
That's right. Yeah. So when I created this, I wanted quick tips because I just know how crazy my life is. So I was like, if I'm going to do something, I kind of need something that can be quick. So you can do it, under 15 minutes or less, most of these. And so it's everything from as easy as signing into your checking account online, which some people don't even know their password to it because they don't do it, to things like insurance rates, all of it. But yeah, it's been great. I've had it for a few years now, and people, it works because, again, it's helping you get intentional with your money. And,
so you get an email once a day with an idea.
Exactly.
To save money.
100%, yeah.
Find money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So, and you sign up for that at rachelcruz.com as well. So be sure and check that out. Again, the number here to join us is 888-825-5225. Now, guys, I wanted to stop a second, sidestep. Rachel, this time last year, most people were at home.
Yeah. Yes.
Quarantining or sheltering or whatever word we used for being trapped in your house. And a lot of people were very afraid about their money. A lot of lost jobs. They were worried about if they were going to lose their job. They were worried about the debt that they have. They were worried about their emergency fund. And a lot of people said, you know what, I'm never going to be here again. And then some of you had that feeling, but you never did anything about it. And now you're kind of just back to normal doing stupid butt stuff again. That was your wake-up call to do the Ramsey stuff, to do the baby steps, to get the Total Money Makeover book, to get in Ramsey Plus. For God's sakes, to get your blush wallet, whatever it takes for you to change your life and never be back in that situation again. You need to have a never again moment from COVID where you say, never again is my family going to be vulnerable financially because I didn't do the stuff to get out of debt and build the emergency fund. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Ashley's in West Palm Beach, California. Hi, Ashley. How are you? West Palm Beach.
I'm good, Dave. It's Florida.
Florida, I would think. Yeah, I saw that on the screen and read it like I was Anchorman or something. Okay. So I knew better as I was reading it. How can we help?
I am currently in baby step 2, and I have a about $10,000 left on a student loan. However, it's currently in part of a class action lawsuit, so I'm not required to make any payments on it. So I've been using what I would have paid on that towards the rest of my snowball. It's not currently accruing any interest, anything like that. I'm just not sure if I should pay it off. Or
what's the nature of the class action lawsuit?
It was for false advertising for job placement rates and things like that. So it was for like a technical school.
Technical school still open?
No, they've closed.
They went broke?
Shut down.
Well, your student loan is supposed to be forgiven under federal guidelines in that situation anyway.
Well, I had already graduated from the school.
Doesn't matter.
That happened, so I wasn't currently. Really?
Yeah, doesn't matter. If the school closed if the school went bankrupt, it's an indication that they were running a scam, and it's one of the few types of student loan forgiveness that actually does occur. You actually get a high rate of these that are forgiven. So you need to get in touch with the feds and work that through. You said it's a $10,000 balance and it's your only debt left?
I have two left. I have about $8,000 left on a credit card, but I've been using the student loan payments to pay down the credit card faster since I've not been required to take payments on the student loan.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, what I'd do is knock the credit card out, and then I would save up $10,000 extra above your normal emergency fund of 3 to 6 months, so that if this all falls apart, you can write a check and be out of debt.
That's what I thought you'd say, but I needed to hear it from you.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you need to investigate the federal, get on the websites with the feds, because I think you're going to get this whole thing forgiven anyway, regardless of the class action.
Okay. Now, do you think they would forgive and reimburse for anything that I've paid? That's my concern.
No, it's just the feds don't guarantee that schools don't go broke, but they do forgive federally insured student loans on schools that close.
Okay. Regardless of if you're a current student or not.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But double check it. Jump in on the student loan websites. And James, that site that you sent me the other day that had the different types on it, do you remember what it was off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head, but I can find it and send it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, she'll be gone by then. But anyway, yeah, but there's a site we were just looking at the other day, and there's 2 or 3 types of student loan forgiveness that actually do occur.
That's what I was about to say, because usually it's one of those impossible things that it's a dream that people have that's going to happen, and it usually doesn't.
Yeah, it's called the PSLF is the one that sucks, that everybody thinks is going to happen and nobody gets. It doesn't really occur.
Yep.
And so the public service student loan forgiveness after 10 years, and that's what so many people are betting the farm on, and they're getting screwed. Yep. And the current numbers, we just pulled this up the other day off the site that we were talking about here. The 227,000 people have applied for that, and only 3,000 have gotten it. So it's less. It's about 1%
of the 10-year.
Yeah, of that 10-year type. Now the type that she has, where a closed school discharge,
it would be 100,
or a discharge due to death, or a discharge due to disability, or there's another one for teachers. And sometimes nurses that do the inner city or the rural, underserved areas, they're called. That's a 5-year plan, and there's a high rate of the forgiveness on those. Yep. But the public service student loan forgiveness one is the ones that's joke.
Yep.
So it's educationdata.org.
Say it again?
Educationdata.org.
Okay, so if you're still there, it's educationdata.org, educationdata.org, or data.org. And that's where you can start to find out this deal. But if you went to, and a lot of them were very few times does like a 4-year university close.
Right.
But there were a lot of these VOTEC things, a truck driving school, a computer programming school, or whatever. And you go in there and they run the student. Basically, they run a scam to get people to sign student loans. They cash in all the money. They take off, and the school closes.
How often does that happen?
Often enough that they decided to put it in the dadgum thing. It's too often.
Yeah.
It's not to say everybody in that space is slimy, but there was enough slime in that space that the discharge due to school closing is a thing. Yeah. It's a thing. And you don't have to do it through a class action. So jump in there and learn about it, and you can get the details and get moving on it. Sam is in Atlanta. Hi, Sam. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
What's up?
Hey, Rachel. Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking the call this afternoon. I had a quick question. So, my wife and I, we're in, I guess, starting out baby step 6 now. So we've paid off any debts we had and got 36 months of expenses, and are able to invest 15% of our income. We are set to receive about $180,000 in a inheritance in the form of a mutual fund. And our current mortgage is about $140,000. And I was just curious what will maybe be the most smart thing to do with that inheritance. Would it be to pay off the mortgage immediately with it, or keep it invested and continue for that to grow in the mutual fund, and us just continue to attack the mortgage?
Sam, you guys are
with a normal income.
Yeah. Well, you're in a great position right now because you are literally going to be able to cash out mutual funds and have enough to pay off your mortgage with $40,000 left over. So if I woke up in your shoes and that was given to me, I would pay off the house that day and be on my way to baby step 7 and continue on.
Sam, it's interesting that you said, we're going to walk the baby steps until you got a lump sum, and then you questioned it.
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't that weird? I mean, that's kind of weird if you think about it. But that's what it does. It made you question the whole theory. Because if the other way, if not paying it off and use it to invest, then we would have put that in the baby steps, right? We would have said, never pay off your house, always keep your money invested.
Right.
And what we found, though, is that all the millionaires that we've studied and all the tens of thousands of people we've walked with over all these 30 years that have built wealth, none of them said, when interviewed, oh, I got rich because I always borrowed all I could on my house and kept the money invested in mutual funds. None of them said that. None. Not one. Instead I hear all the time, we paid off our house, and that was the biggest breakthrough, because when the house was paid off, man, we took all those house payments, we started investing those, and we ended up with $1 million so fast it was blinding, and a paid-for house in the mix, and so you end up, with a net worth of $1 to $2 million fairly quickly.
Yeah, and it's a good question, Sam, because I understand how you got there, because you're thinking, okay, suddenly math starts to come into play, and you're thinking, okay, can I kind of outsmart this and invest that because I'm going to make more off the interest versus what, you start to kind of play these games. But if you were going to pay it off gradually, it never would have come up. Right.
But the fact that there's something weird the way our brains trigger.
Yes.
We'll have to ask Deloney how that works. Because there's something about the way our brains, our brains do that.
And I would say, Sam, too, I would feel this way, right? You're working hard. You guys are on baby step 6.
Yeah, you've done a great job.
You sound like a fairly young man. You're not, from just the tone of your voice. So I'm like, there's almost this emotion you have to catch up to for being handed $180,000. Like, because you
hardly don't feel worthy.
I almost wish, I wish I could hear more of his story, because I'm like, I bet they worked hard. You're just used to just cranking it out, and then you're given it, and it almost feels too good to be true or something. It's like, whoa, it can't be this easy.
Did I do something wrong?
Or something. Like, it can't be this easy. And it's like your emotions haven't caught up to the reality of what's happening financially for you guys. And what a blessing. What a gift. And whoever left you that in the inheritance, what a way to pass on their legacy to do something like this with this money. I think it's just tremendous, Sam. It's awesome.
Yeah. Pay off your house, dude. Use the house payment to become wealthy. Change your family tree. I'm so proud for you. You've done really good. You've done a great job. This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, my daughter, #1 best-selling author many times over, is my co-host today, taking your questions about your life and about your money. Open phones at 888-825-5000. 888-225-5225. Nico is with us from Estonia. Hi, Nico. How are you?
Oh, hello. Thank you. How are you, sir?
Better than I deserve. What part of Estonia are you in?
Tartu. It's a very small city, although the second biggest city in Estonia.
Cool. Rachel and I and our family visited Tallinn a few years ago. It's Tallinn. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful city. How can we
Nico,
help?
I saw Estonia and I said, not many people can probably say, I have been to your country, Nico. I've been to Estonia.
How can we help you, sir?
Me and my fiancé are moving to U.S., to Indiana, Notre Dame, for our PhD degrees, both in the same department. We are debt-free. We do not have any debt. We have all our moving costs covered, and we both have fellowship. The thing is, we will have some salary left over every month, and we have no idea about American economics or how can we invest or what we should do with it. Should we go ahead? Let me say that we will have about $2,000 left each month on the side after eating, providing for shelter, phone, everything that. What should we do? Should we plan to buy a house maybe next year, or should we invest in a different way? I would love to listen to your advice.
Wow. What's your PhD you're studying?
Bioengineering. I am building synthetic hearts.
Wow. So will you be, when you finish the PhD, will you be returning or will you be staying in the U.S.?
I haven't made up my mind yet, but I think I will stay a little bit longer for postdoc.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, South Bend's a beautiful town. Been there a lot of times. Notre Dame's a fabulous campus, so you've signed up for a world-class ride there. If you're going to be there 5 years or longer, buying a home is not a bad idea. If you're not going to be there 5 years or longer, it's questionable.
All right. I was thinking the money I'm going to pay for rent, which is about $1,200 a month, I can just pay it for mortgage, and even if I don't stay there at the end, I can sell the house and get some of those money back instead of losing it every month.
You won't necessarily unless you stay 5 years. We don't know if typically the house will not go up enough in value, and you've got to make sure you can get the house sold. Houses, right now, houses are selling like crazy. The real estate market's white hot. But a few years ago, you couldn't give one away. So, you don't want to get into a home if you're not going to be there 5 years, because your trade out for rent is not 1 for 1. Because you can turn around and lose money on the house and make you wish you had rented. If you're only going to be in the house 2 or 3 years or something. And the South Bend market's a solid market. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a bad place to own real estate, but all real estate needs to be purchased with a 5-year window or longer. Other than that, I would just pile up the cash, because, Nico, a pile of cash just gives you lots of options. And then as you decide where you're going to stay and where you're going to be, that pile of cash can be applied wherever you are. And that's true in any economy.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you recommend him investing if he's not going to be here 5 years or longer?
Yeah, if you want to do like an index fund and park some of that money, that's fine. But the big thing the money's going to give you that's going to be more than anything else is just the flexibility, which to move to another city if you're going to stay in the U.S., to move back to Estonia if you're going back. A pile of cash just gives you options, and sometimes those options are more valuable than what you might have made on an investment.
Yeah, it's good.
And so certainly real estate will be a mistake if you're only going to be there a couple years. Most of the time. I mean, there's a few times you get out whole, but I love real estate, but it's not a short-term play, and it's not a trade-off for rent. Everybody's got this thing about, versus rent. It really doesn't work out that way, except in the long haul. Short range, it does not work out that way. Jordan's in Portland, Oregon. Hi, Jordan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. What's up?
Hey, Dave, Rachel, thank you both for taking the time to talk to me today.
Sure.
So, long story short, my wife and I, we just got married in August of last year. Been living out here for the past 3 years. Hometown is originally Colorado, where I own a rental property. The rental property right now is under contract to be sold for $685. Original listing price is $501. So, all things considered, I think it was a great return on investment.
Good night.
But yeah, real estate in Denver has been blowing up recently. So, my wife and I, we both have some debt right now outside of the mortgage. It's truck payments, some credit card debt, and some school. And what we want to do is just move them forward from here. We want to be good stewards of our finances and make sure we're doing what's right and doing the best with these proceeds from the sale. So I was looking for some guidance from you both today, see any suggestions you may have in mind.
So how much cash will you get out of the home from what you owe, what you made? I mean, obviously you guys made a ton on it.
Right. And after what I calculated after closing costs, commissions and all that and taxes, I think we'll be stepping away with about $225.
Okay. And then, how much debt do you guys have? I know you said you have truck, credit card, all of that. How much is all that?
That was a boneheaded move after listening to Dave recently. I kind of got over my head and bought the truck with not a whole lot down. I've still got about $40,000 left on the truck.
What is all that debt total to, including the truck?
Let's see. Bear with me. $63,000.
Okay. All right.
Awesome. Well, so Jordan, I mean, when you get that $225, you can write a check for $63,000, be completely out of debt. Put a chunk of it away for an emergency fund. So you and your wife sit down and figure out, okay, how much is our expenses per month, and multiply that by 3, 4, 5, or 6. So you have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved for that emergency fund. And then from there, I mean, and you're gonna be able to do a lot of this in like one day when you get the check from that house, which is so fun. And you're gonna be, and then start investing some of it into retirement. Do you guys own a home right now? Did you say in Portland?
No, we're renting right now in an apartment complex.
Do you guys want to buy a home?
That's what we'd like. That's our dream one of these days.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, after that emergency fund, I mean, you could take some of that for a down payment if you guys...
I would use the rest of it for the down payment. Yeah.
Throw it all there.
So be debt-free with an emergency fund, and whatever's left is your down payment.
So if I remember, you're saying 3 to 6 months in an emergency fund, and going off of what our monthly expenses look like right now, that's about $24,000. And then,
okay, so you're going to have $130,000 to put down on a house,
right? I mean, that gets a lot of house, and that's the decision. I think we've been going back and forth on is, do we want to use all of it for the down payment on the house, or would it make sense to only maybe use a chunk of it and invest the rest, or
Well, again, our experience from the last 30 years working with people who become millionaires is they get their house paid off.
Yeah.
And the first step to getting your house paid off is a big, hairy down payment, not investing the money. We just do not meet very many wealthy people in the millionaire range, the $1 to $5 million net worth, the first time people become millionaires, that did it by keeping their house leveraged and investing the money. Almost all of them say we got the house paid off as quickly as we could, and we started investing 15% of our household income into retirement. And then when the house got paid off, we started investing even more, and they end up with $1 million to $1.5 million in their 401ks and in their retirement plans, and a paid for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 house, and that's how they end up with their $1 million net worth. And it's a very stable way of doing it. It's the baby steps that we teach from the Total Money Makeover book.
And I would say, Jordan, look to see the size of house you guys want. You may be thinking that's a huge down payment. That's a lot of house. Well, then don't get that much house, and then that down payment will take maybe 50% of the mortgage. And then from there, once all that cash is gone, start investing. Go back to your baby steps, 4, 5, and 6. So the house won't be completely paid off. You'll be investing before that. Absolutely.
I'll send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, that has the baby steps on steroids in it. Shows you every detail. And if you'll follow that, you'll be wealthy. You'll be a baby steps millionaire. That's what's going to happen.
Awesome, Jordan. Great job.
Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, #1 best-selling author. My daughter is my co-host today here on The Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. It means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Sandra in Virginia. I just completed baby step 2 and am able to cash flow college tuition for my 2 teenage children. This has drastically slowed down my ability to save for a fully funded emergency fund. Both kids work and applied for scholarships. Should my priority be to pay their tuition for 3 more years or build my emergency fund? Sandra, it would be to build your emergency fund. So your kids, they're working, scholarships, all that's amazing. And that should all be applied to their college. But hopefully they're going to a school they can afford while they're doing all of that. And so it sounds, I know as a parent, it feels like, okay, I'm being a bad parent because I'm putting myself first. I should be able to help them because I have the ability to. But you have to be able to help yourself first. You need this solid financial foundation under you to make sure that if anything happens in your life, you have the cash to cover it. And so that emergency fund is crucial. And then saving for retirement next. And then I would be putting 15% of my income into retirement. And then after that's completed, as you're doing that, then you can help with kids' college. So again, parents, it goes against their natural way of thinking with parenting of, no, I'm supposed to help my kids. And I do want you to help your kids, but you're not a bad parent if you don't help your kid with college. So taking care of you first and foremost financially is the priority.
Yeah. And when the oxygen masks drop, they don't say, put your oxygen mask on your kid first. They say, put the oxygen mask on yourself first.
Yep.
Then you are able, because you can breathe and you haven't passed out, to take care of your children. And so retirement, unless you die, is going to occur. Emergencies are going to occur, period. College may or may not occur. Now, they're in school, so it is occurring, but, we just have to find a way to do this. We have to find a way to push it through, pull this off, and you guys are going to have to scratch around. I think they need to have applied for more scholarships. I think they applied for 3, and then they quit, and they need to do 300.
Yeah.
And I think they work, but I don't think they work enough. I worked 40 to 60 hours a week when I was in school. Most people work while they're in college. Most people in America work while they're in college. It's highly unusual for someone to not work while they're in school. I mean, I don't know where we got this idea that people don't have to work while they're in school. Now, these kids are working.
They're working, yeah.
They're working.
Well,
but
and
I'm just
it's
saying,
school choice, too.
I'm just saying, what are you doing for money? Are you making a stinking minimum wage? Or are you doing something that's actually profitable?
Yep.
Because, flopping whoppers is tough to pay tuition with.
Right.
At minimum wage. It's just really hard to do. So you need to do something where you can actually make some money, whether it's an entrepreneurial endeavor or whether it's hard work that other people don't want to do, like cutting grass, delivering pizzas. You can make a lot more money doing some things than you can doing other things when you're for college work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so we need to address that. We need to address the scholarships and how many. We need to address where they're going to school. Is it affordable? And if you address all of those things, I think you guys can pull this off. But it is not healthy to go with the natural instinct of, I'll take care of my children first, which you should. I mean, you should, most of us would say we would jump in front of a bullet for our kids. Most of us would say we would dive in front of a car and push them out of the way for our kids. All of that is true, but that's a life or death situation. We would feed our children before we fed ourselves. That's a life or death situation. Mm-hmm. This is financial. Yep. And so it goes against your natural instinct, but it's also the right way, the wise way to do it. I am suggesting you help with college, but only after the emergency fund's in place and 15% is going into retirement, as Rachel said. So, guys, what we figured out a few years ago is there's 73,000 things coming at you that want your money. And then when you get some money, because you went to work, or because you get a lump sum, or because you sold your rental property, or whatever it is, you get some money. And you go, I don't know, which of these 73,000 do I do? How do I do this? And people become overwhelmed, and they do nothing, and then they end up doing something stupid with the money instead of actually being intentional and having a plan. So 20 some odd years ago, almost 30 years ago, coaching families, we determined that you needed a very specific, clear path, and we developed that over many years in actual practice. It was not theoretical, meaning tens of thousands of families that we walked with to develop these highly tuned baby steps. And baby step 1 comes before baby step 2. It's not an accident that 2 is after 1, and that 3 is after 2, and that 5 is after 4, and that 6 is after 5, and that 4 is before 5. These are not accidents. This is a highly developed, highly processed series of concepts that have proven to tens of millions of families in America now to be the shortest distance between where you are and wealth. Now, you can go make up your own freaking plan, but your plan got you where you are. And so you need to decide, you don't need to call Rachel and Anthony and Christy and Deloney and me and Coleman and ask us if baby step 3 should be after baby step 2. It is. That's why we called it 3. And you don't need to change it. It's a pretty, and it doesn't really change. It is the shortest method to get there. Shut up and do it.
Okay, tell me this. Do you feel like you've heard more of this happening in the last 5 years? The last hour? The last few years versus over the last 20? Because I feel like more than ever today, the culture, it's a little bit infested with, yeah, but this is my way.
I'm a snowflake. I'm unique.
I'm not saying that.
You're unique, but the law of gravity applies to all snowflakes.
I know, but I'm just saying, do you see it culturally? Like, do you think that like, do you see this resistance, or have you always seen it?
No, it's always been that.
It's a natural, because it's your unique. I mean, people say, yes, it's my unique
because
situation.
what happens is the very confusion of the 73,000 things you can do with money.
Yeah.
You have to bring it back to the table continually.
Yeah.
Until you actually believe that there is logic and data and decades and tens of millions of lives that have done it the right way and gotten the positive result. Until you submit yourself to the plan, it's like hiring a personal trainer and he says, well, you probably need to eat less. Yeah, but I'm not going to do that. I just want to do the workout. Well, no, you got to eat less, fat boy. That's what I'm looking in the mirror. I got a keg. He's got a six-pack. Why am I arguing with the six-pack boy about nutrition when I'm fat? Why am I arguing with him? He told me what to do. I hired him. I paid him to tell me what to do. And then I've got a better plan. And then I look at my belly and go, well, how's that a better plan? This is what ought to go through people's head.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Or the trainer says, do more lunges. I'm like, I don't want to do those. I'm not doing it.
I don't like leg day. I don't like leg day. I don't like leg day. I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to pick out, I'm going to do my version of your plan that works, because my version has got me where I am. It's the dumbest thing ever.
Well, it's not the dumbest thing ever. It's because, I know why, because it feels good in the moment to do what you feel like is safe to do, and stepping outside of what you feel like is safe and doing a plan that makes you uncomfortable because you're having to change. That's why, know?
Oh, yeah. It's comfort zone crap.
Yeah, it is.
It's exactly what it is. But you have to decide, did your comfort zone get you to where you are? Yes. Do you like where you are? No. Then get out of your dadgum comfort zone.
You look great, though.
Well, I've lost 37 pounds because I looked in the mirror and I went, fat boy, you got to do something different.
That's shame talk.
I did. I did look at myself and say that. It caused me to lose weight, though. I mean, your self-awareness is part of the process, right? Oh, my gosh. This is The Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author multiple times, is my co-host today. We're here to answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Travis is in Boston to start off this hour. Hi, Travis. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm good. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Well, thank you for having me. I discovered you about 2.5 years ago, right before becoming a father, and you have completely changed my life and how I handle economics. And the reason for my call today is because we currently live in a house, and we have about $45,000 left in this mortgage, no other debt. But we're entertaining the idea of buying a much bigger house with an in-law apartment that would allow my in-laws to move and stay with us for $650,000, which would obviously restart my mortgage clock. And the idea of being debt-free before the age of 35 sounds very appealing, but I also think that new big house would improve our quality of life and actually make us happy as well. And if you will approve of the new house, would you recommend selling or renting my current house?
Okay. Well, I would always sell your house currently because you don't have the money to pay cash for the new one. And so the only way we buy rentals is with cash. And so we wouldn't keep that property unless you were able to pay cash for your home, because in effect, you've borrowed money for the rental otherwise. So no, we're going to sell it for sure. What's the home you're living in worth?
About $425,000.
Okay. All right. And so we're talking about only a $250,000 mortgage, right?
If I sell this house, yes.
Yes. Well, that's no longer in question if you're going to do what we tell you to do. So I would tell you to sell the house. So, and then you're going to put it on as short a term as you can, 15 years or less. What's your household income?
$160,000.
100 and what?
160.
160. Okay, good. How old are you?
32, sir.
You've done very well, Ron. Good job, man. Or I'm sorry, Travis. Very well done. Very well done.
Thank you. I've been listening to you nonstop. We've been maxing out 401ks, maxing out Roth IRAs, and so we have a second baby coming in September, so we're getting ready for it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations. So your in-laws are how old?
My in-laws are in their 60s, and they currently live in Greece, where both my wife and I are from.
Okay.
They would move here, no income. They would pretty much be staying with us and be babysitters in a sense.
Well, I'm not a big fan in general of mother-in-law and father-in-law apartments because it ends up with a weird house later when all of this doesn't work out. But this is a very unusual situation. You've got the cultural differences between Greece and the U.S. To where it would be more normal to have all the family in one house. In the U.S., we tend to be more individualistic. And that's just a cultural difference. Neither's right or wrong. It's just a different way of looking at things and doing things. But I looked at a house the other day, had a mother-in-law apartment in it that was a dadgum house, attached to the other house. And it was just like, it made a weird house is what it did. And, and we weren't moving anybody in with us, so we don't want that, so it just made you have a hard property to sell later. So your configuration of the house needs to be fairly normal, and it can't be some bizarre mother-in-law apartment thing off the side, because you're going to make it very limited market when you get ready to sell it someday.
It is exactly what you're describing, actually. It is very bizarre. We actually know the current owners. We've known them for a very long time, and the in-law apartment is 1,900 square feet. It's massive.
Wow.
Okay.
It's bigger than our current house. The in-law aspect is bigger than the actual house we live in right now.
Yeah.
And the main house is about 3,000 square feet.
Yeah, I think you're going to have trouble selling that house later.
Very likely.
But if you're in it for 10, 15 years, do you?
Doesn't matter. I mean, if it's a weird house when you move in, guess what? When you move out, it's still going to be a weird house.
Yeah, but is the weirdness worth it though for your quality of life? Considering you have parents immigrating in, and
I think I in your situation, I don't want to make a case for them not to move in with you. I think moving in with you and moving to a bigger house is probably a better idea. I'm not sure the one you're looking at's the one. Because I'm going to do this in a more in a way that the house can be utilized more in a more traditional way when you leave, and that'll give you a much broader market. The house will do better. You have a higher likelihood of getting it sold. You're not going to get stuck with this white elephant, which is what these things are when you build these bizarre properties. Yeah. And so you can do it if you want to do it, but the downside is you're going to have trouble getting out of it later.
But I would say, Travis, to your original question, though, sell the current house you're in. That's okay. You don't have to wait till it's paid off.
Moving up is okay.
And then move in it
and
there.
Put the $250,000 mortgage on as short a term as you can. That's all okay.
But the house itself sounds weird.
The actual house, be careful with that part of it, because that's where you can get burned in this whole thing. Because, there's going to be a day when you blink twice and mom and dad are in heaven and you've got this house with this empty wing, and it just goes fast. So life goes fast. And so that's what happens. And then, you end up, these people that were selling this property we were looking at, that's what happened to them. And, the house is 8 years old and they built it specifically for her mother, and, and it's useless. It's useless because it's just so bizarre for a traditional family using it without a mother-in-law. So I'm thinking about what am I going to put over there in that thing. It made me not want to do the deal. So, and that was 3 weeks ago. So, but anyway, so you can decide. But that's I think the ideas that you're playing with all work. Yeah. But just be careful with where you put the final product in terms of you don't want to get stuck with something later. But you got a great heart, and obviously you've done a great job.
I was going to say, awesome, Travis. You're 33, is that what he said? 32?
Yeah, killing it. Just killing it. Great. So very well done. So very well done. Yeah, and here's the thing, too. To the rest of you, you think about Latino countries, often, families all in one house. That's not unusual. But again, Anglos, very seldom. Very seldom. We'll do we buy the house next door for mom, but we don't put them in our house as often, not as often as other cultures do. Yep. And so that's where this thing called personal finance comes into play. It is personal because this is a family with a Grecian heritage, and so that plays into the decision making. And it should. Yeah, it should. Absolutely. And that's a good thing. So we want to honor that, want you to honor that, your heritage and your cultural upbringing and tendencies and all those kinds of things. But just in the midst of it, be wise. That's the whole thing. This is The Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you've been paying attention to the real estate market, you know it's out of control. It's crazy. Competition to buy a property, multiple offers, it's crazy. Inventory's been hitting all-time lows. Now, when inventory's low, it simply means there's more buyers buying than sellers selling, which turns the pressure up. Buyers want to snag the right house. Sellers want to accept the right offer. This is not amateur hour. To win in this market, you need a pro by your side, and that's why we find veterans and endorse top real estate agents and we really go through and vet them. We look at what they're doing. All across the country, we call them our endorsed local providers. These are high-octane, high-protein real estate agents, and you need someone like that in your corner to play in this market. If you're going to sell, I mean, it's a process right now. If you're going to buy, it's a process right now. And our agents have years of industry success, and they refuse to compromise your financial goals no matter what is going on out there. So you can instantly connect with an endorsed local provider in your area. Text HOUSE to 33789. Text HOUSE to 33789 to find a Ramsey trusted agent near you.
Can we talk real estate for a second?
Yeah, let's do.
So we were talking during the break about just even in Nashville, it's crazy right now. Like our friends are trying to buy houses and they're asking like insane over asking price and they're still not getting it. Like it's just wild. So COVID plays into this. And I know real estate, you know, you look over decades and decades, you see the influx of things going up and down. I mean, it's just like anything else. But it just feels like it's insane right now. And I don't know if that's just because we live in Nashville and Nashville.
No, it's everywhere.
So what does COVID cause people? Because I would think coming out of 2020, you almost are more conservative and you're holding tight and you're staying put because it still feels a little unstable, right? Like we're not even, I feel like, out of all the stuff with COVID. So why the surge?
Well, it's several things, but the baseline on it is there's a shortage on new housing because the lumber factory shut down. And a lot of the other components of the house, the factory shut down.
Yeah, new lumber is just insane.
So you can't get lumber.
Yep.
And then when you can't get it, it drove the prices way up on that.
Yeah.
And then there starts to be a frenzy around it, a feeding frenzy, like piranhas. You know, it's like crazy. And so the new housing slowed to nothing, and there's this gap of 6 or 8 months of production of the components, therefore the new houses. And when you take the new housing gap supply out, the inventory supply out, then it shortens up the, I can't get a new house, so I got to go buy a used house. And so it doubles down on twice as many people looking at half the numbers of houses. And so you end up with a inventory shortage of new and used housing, and a shortage always cause, when you got half the number of houses for sale as there are buyers out there, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio, whatever, 4-to-1, whatever the ratio is, then that alone did this. But what COVID did was it shut down not the real estate market, because people were still buying houses during quarantine. Mm-hmm. They were buying them sight unseen on Zoom and other stuff.
Right.
But the factory shutting down, the supply chain getting screwed up, has screwed up the economy.
That's what it was. So it's not that there's more buyers, it's just that the inventory.
And then the buyers go crazy.
Yeah.
And then the sellers go crazy.
Yeah.
And then the buyers go crazier. And so there's this cycle of just this feeding frenzy, and it's all emotion. And so, you're seeing properties in lots of towns get multiple offers, $50,000, $100,000 over asking price.
Yeah.
And they line up through the whole weekend, and there's 62 offers on a house over the weekend. That's not unusual in a lot of cities right now. But that'll subside. Eventually the feeding frenzy calms down, and then there'll just be this like hangover. Like the housing hangover after that. It'll just be like the morning after.
Have you felt this ever? I mean,
I've never seen it like this exactly.
Yeah.
But what we are going to see out of this that you've never seen, your generation's never seen, is inflation. Mm. Inflation, the components that make up the inflation index, housing is one of them. It's the biggest part of inflation. And when housing shoots up and oil shoots up, and oil has shot up too.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
And you look at the gas pump. It's doubled.
Oh, I know. Filled up my minivan 2 days ago. I thought,
nobody's talking about it. But the gas pump doubles and housing goes up a bunch. Then all of a sudden you're going to see stuff like I saw in the 70s and 80s, which was double-digit inflation, where stuff's going up 10-15% a year.
Man.
And inflation was out of control. And the politicians, it took some real strong politicians to do away with it. It was out of control.
How did they do away with it?
Well, I credit Ronald Reagan. I'm just putting the brakes on, because it was out of control under Carter, and he comes in and shifted economic policy and just started opening up, doing away with regulation, opening up the markets. Because if you can flood the market with supply, it slows down the feeding frenzy. Because if you can get it everywhere, there's no scarcity.
Sure.
then the prices start to settle. If there's an oversupply, prices go down. If there's an undersupply, prices go up because there's people chasing it.
Sure,
right?
supply and demand.
Half the number of people chasing it as there are. You got 2 houses for sale for every buyer. Well, all of a sudden, prices stabilize, start to go down, or at least quit shooting through the roof. So the out of control upward inflation. So we're probably going to see some actual inflation out of this, which we've not seen in 2 decades. But in 1982, in 1980s under Carter, the interest rates on housing was 18%, 17%. I was in college selling real estate. So guess what happened? Nobody's buying houses. Because your interest rate on a house is like a credit card.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
And so nobody's buying houses. They're all on the sideline going, I can't buy a house with these interest rates.
Yep.
And so everybody that would have bought a house that year starts stacking up. And you get pent-up demand, water behind the dam. It's getting ready to spill over the dam. And so when rates came down from 18 to 14, I was selling real estate at 22 years old, and rates were 14, and there were cars lined up around the block in the new subdivision. It was like
from just that 4%. I mean, like it.
Yeah, but it was 3-4 years of nobody buying a house, and the floodgates broke loose. 14 was enough to get them out of their house.
Yeah.
And it was like COVID. They lined up around the dadgum block buying these houses. And guess what? Prices went up. Interest rates continued to go on down, of course, over the years after that. We saw 12, and then we saw 10. And I was on the radio by then, and I'm like, oh, you'll never see single-digit interest rates again ever in mortgages. Well, obviously, I was an idiot and didn't know what I was talking about because we've had single-digit interest rates. And now we've had for a decade, we've had 2 or 3%.
I was going to say, it's like went down to 2% last year. Yeah.
You watch these interest rates. That's the other thing. You watch these interest rates go up with inflation.
Yeah.
It'll shut this housing market down.
I was going to say the correlation between inflation and the interest rates.
If you go from 3 to 6, this housing market will freeze like a deer in the headlights. It'll just stop. People just stop buying. They'll just back up and wait. And you're going to see some of that back and forth now. It's going to be a little rocky, a little volatile. But it won't. This feeding frenzy that you've got right this second is not going to continue.
Yeah. But
you do not want to be buying a house or selling a house right now without a pro in your corner.
Oh, sure.
This is not amateur hour right here. It's really not amateur hour.
It's just a bizarre.
This is how you can overpay for something, or not get them. You could be off $100,000 on what you could have got with an agent that knew how to manipulate the whole process.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a freaking auction in some of these cities on some of these properties.
That was one of ours in our neighborhood. The builder did an auction. He was like, highest price. And people were like, I mean, it was crazy.
Put them out in the front yard.
It was crazy. I was like, what is happening right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wild.
But that's that.
I didn't know if it was just now. Yeah.
But it's an emotional frenzy.
Well, and that's it too. Buying a home.
If you just back up and go, right now, I'm just going to chill and watch all these crazy people finish. And when they finish, then I'm going to walk back in there because you can't get a deal in most markets. Let's add one more variable to it. All the people leaving California because they're sick of it. They're done. They're done with crazy land. All the people leaving New York because they're done with crazy land. And they're coming out there like,
they're everywhere. Chicago?
Here's another shortage. U-Hauls leaving California, you can't find one. You can't find them.
To rent one, you mean?
You can't rent one.
Everywhere.
You can't rent one in New York because they're leaving. They're all leaving, and they're not coming back. Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we take your questions about your life and your money. Kendra is in Houston, Texas. Hey, Kendra, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I have a quick question for you, you and Rachel. My husband and I had just finished baby step 3B. and we're closing on our first home. And
Yay!
we have 20% down. I know, very exciting. We've worked following your principles, we've worked a really long time, so we're very excited.
Good for you.
But I have a good question in regards to that. So our lender contacted us this morning saying that we qualified for a property inspection waiver, or essentially an appraisal waiver, and where they would still, like, we don't need an appraiser to come out and appraise the thing. They would give us the loan. Is that something we should do, or I just need a little bit of wisdom on that?
Okay. How much are you putting down?
We're putting down $77,000.
Okay. And what's the price range home?
It is $300,000.
Okay. I have not run into this. Are you getting a conventional loan?
We are. We're getting a conventional loan, and we just locked our rate in yesterday.
Okay. I think I'm learning something right now. I've never heard of them waiving an appraisal. So it's okay that they are. It's just unusual. In the past, it was unheard of. So it may have to do with the hot market. It may have to do with the down payment size, so they feel safe because you're putting a big chunk down, that kind of thing. So here's the thing. The appraisal is an opinion of value. How comfortable are you that you're not dramatically overpaying?
I would feel pretty comfortable. We didn't go, we paid basically list price, which obviously we've done the comps, et cetera, with our realtor.
Oh, you did comps. Okay, so you looked at comps.
Yeah, they pulled everything.
And you did comparable analysis using the comparable sales in the area, and that gave you an indication that the price is accurate.
Yes, that's correct.
That's what an appraisal is.
Okay.
An appraisal, a standard residential appraisal form has 3 comps on it, and they adjust for the differences in square footage and attributes and amenities and so forth. And so if you got a 4-bedroom versus a 3-bedroom, or a 3-car garage versus a 2-car garage, or whatever, they adjust for that. And then they adjust 3,500 square feet to 3,700 square feet. And after the adjusted price, that other house that sold adjusted to look like yours equals X. The other one equals Y. The other one equals Z. And the average of those 3 is how a residential appraisal is done. So you've already done one.
Yeah, I guess we kind of essentially have.
Yeah. So the only reason you would need one is if you were unsure about the price, and I'm not unsure about it after listening to you.
Okay. I just didn't want to do anything. I mean, because I didn't even know that was an option until we did some research.
I didn't either. I've never heard of it. So I'm learning something with you right here. But you see my point. The only reason you would buy an appraisal is to protect you, and you're okay.
Okay. I just didn't know if, like, us doing kind of our own and with our realtor, if anything would be different.
It's going to be. It might be a tiny bit off, but it's not. Where your realtor pulled the comps from is where the residential appraiser is going to pull the comps from. So very likely it would be the exact same comps, or if you pull 5, 3 of those will be on that form probably.
Okay, cool.
If they're close in geographic proximity and close in date of sale and fairly close in attributes. It's not good to compare a 3,500 square foot house with a 7,000 square foot house, okay? It's not good to compare one that sold last year at this time. Last month, and within 5 or 10% of square footage and 5 or 10% of the same attributes, you've got a very good comp then, right? You see what I'm doing?
Right, yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's how it's done. So I think you're very safe.
Okay. I find out I'm very risk averse when it comes time to purchasing a home. So
yeah, but me too. I'm risk averse about everything. But let me tell you what does away with risk is knowledge.
Okay.
And that's that's what you're doing. You're gathering knowledge here, and so you're not trusting me. I hope I'm trying to get you to say you understand this and you know what your value is, and so you're safe.
Yeah, but when it's your first home, Kendra, I think you said. So yeah, it's one of the largest purchase you'll probably ever make in your lifetime, and so you're thinking, oh gosh, I want to do it right. So I get that.
Yeah, and in times past, mortgage companies always required an appraisal to protect them, to not make a loan that's too big on a house that's not worth what the loan is or something. And they, in times past, that's what the appraisal was always for. It was required by them for them, but you got the benefit of the actual safety, extra safety coverage. But the methodology for the appraisal and the comparative market analysis is identical. And so, your real estate agent can do an appraisal that is the same thing your appraiser would do. If they're a decent real estate agent. Ryan is with us. Ryan's in Chicago. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, Dave. I'm calling in. I recently found you on YouTube. Like a lot of callers, I've been listening to you, getting a lot of knowledge, now trying to put things in practice. I recently went through a divorce that was not my choice.
I'm sorry.
And thank you for your condolences there. And as everything kind of the dust settled, I'm kind of I'm on baby step 2. I only have one debt. I'm kind of foolish. I bought a European luxury vehicle for about $50,000. I owe about $20,000 on it. And after all of the community assets have been divided up, I ended up with about $25,000 in precious metals, about $120,000 in cash, and some toys, boy toys, like a motorcycle, about $15,000, and some other items. So I have one outstanding debt for $20,000 on a vehicle, but I kind of feel stuck in stasis. I'm kind of in a hybrid step. I just started investing 10% with my company matching 6% of pre-tax into the 401k. And then with the assets on hand, I've lost some money in cryptocurrency. I've lost some money in the stock market. We had to sell our home because of the divorce. And so now as I'm taking stock at, a little over 40 years old, what do I want to do with the cash on hand? It's just sitting, and I kind of find myself frozen a little bit, not really knowing what to do with it. I don't have a lot of faith in what the stock market is going to do. So I thought, well, hey, first-time caller, short-time listener, would love to get your advice.
Okay.
Well, Ryan, I'll speak up in part of this. So a couple of things. I mean, you have, $125,000 in cash. And so that will cover the car debt that you have. So I would do that ASAP. I would take the remaining probably $100,000 and figure out how much your expenses are per month and set some of that aside. So we always talk about getting a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. And you would not put this in the market. You would put it in a high yield savings account or a money market account, that fully funded emergency fund. And then from there, bump up that 10% that you're investing to 15%. And I would say with the metals, I mean, commodities are just a tough thing to have money in. So I don't know what you would say, Dave, but I mean, I would sell those and not have that around. I mean, $25,000, and that's a lot. And if you...
That'd pay off the car.
Yeah, that would.
So
20,000. Yeah.
Even though the 5-year performance of silver and gold has been very favorable for those who have held it, you would still go ahead and sell that and turn that into...
The 50-year performance of silver and gold absolutely sucks.
Okay.
The long track record. I mean, and so I don't buy stuff. I don't buy entire investment classes based on their 5-year returns. It's a high risk play. You can do it if you want to do it, but I don't have any money in precious metals. I don't have any money in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's made a bunch of money this year. A lot of money. But I don't do short-term plays. I do long-term plays. I'm the tortoise, and every time I read the book, he wins. So, yeah, I'm cashing the metals out, paying off the car. What Rachel said, finish your emergency fund. Just speed fast. Go fast forward right through those baby steps, dude. Hold on. I'll send you a copy of the Total Money Makeover since you're a new listener, and it'll show you the baby steps in detail. And if you'll just follow them, you'll be a millionaire in no time. I'm sorry for your hurt. Your broken heart's part of this decision-making paradigm. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, Number one best-selling author, and my daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Carol is with us in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hi, Carol. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you very much.
Sure. What's up?
My husband and I have been blessed that we are already in step 7.
Yay!
We have no debt. The house is paid off. We're in our early 60s, and I'm wondering, how do we now relax and enjoy that we're in this position?
Congratulations.
Thank you. We are still nervous to spend money.
Yeah.
Cautious.
Well, you had a lot of years of using that muscle.
Yes.
And so how much money do you have? What's the nest egg?
We have around $1 million in assets.
Good for you. Oh, in assets. Okay.
Yeah.
So how much of that is the house?
Probably $250, $275.
Okay. So $700-800 in your retirement or in mutual funds or whatever then, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
This is something, Carol, I feel like we hear a lot from, whether it's baby step 7 or even baby step 4, 5, and 6 after people have done their emergency fund, have gotten out of debt. It's like they emotionally haven't caught up to where they are. And are you guys retired?
Not yet. My husband will retire probably in 2-3 years.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that it's a very normal place to be in that question and kind of that hesitancy to just enjoy. And so for me, I know numbers and facts help me a lot. And so it's not like this idea you're just going to go crazy and spend whatever you want because you guys are at this point. You're going to still have a budget. You're still going to live on it. You're going to be able to increase your lifestyle, percentage points. And so you guys can do that, run out the numbers. And that's when you can get comfortable, when you say, okay, yeah, we can do this. And when you actually have the numbers in front of you and it's not just this idea in your head, that's going to help settle some of that emotion.
Yeah.
Right. And you suggest doing that with a financial advisor or running it on our own?
Both, probably, but you've got to get them you have to get the numbers into your heart to relax. And so what I do, what Sharon and I often do is, because, we're in a financial place that our emotions may never catch up to. Having gone bankrupt and then having struggled and fought and been frugal for so many years, and then you live like no one else. Then later, when it's time to live like no one else, then it's hard to relax and do it. So the rule we kind of use is whatever the thing is we're thinking about doing, and we go, are we crazy? We ask ourselves, okay, if we take that much money, let's just make up a number. Let's say you were going to go buy a $20,000 something that feels luxurious to you. It feels like you might be out of control. It feels a little crazy, okay? You know what I'm talking about? I mean, you're going on a cruise, or you're buying a car, or you're buying I don't know. I don't care what it is. A $20,000 thingy, okay? Then the way we visualize it is we say, all right, let's put $20,000 cash in the middle of the kitchen table and burn it.
Oh.
Did our life change? And in your case, the answer would be no. Other than you almost threw up when I said it. But I mean, but mathematically, you got $1 million, house and mutual funds and retirement. And so if you just took $20,000 and just completely screwed up and it just disappeared, it evaporated. That's 0.002%. It doesn't matter. It's like most people buying a biscuit.
That sounds hard to get in your mind wrapped around.
I know, but mathematically and logically, what I'm saying is correct, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Emotionally, it's hard to accept. And that's the difference. And so we just have to ask ourselves, and we do this in 2 areas, consumption and generosity.
Yes.
Because one of our great motivators is generosity. And so you can get out of control with that and have given everything away and be eating, be on the bread line or whatever, And so we ask ourselves, if we make this gift that feels like it is it's more than we made some years, But now if we make this gift, you probably had a year like I did where you didn't make $20,000, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and so if I give a $20,000 gift, you give a $20,000 gift away for us, that's more than we made in a whole year back in the day. So it's in our emotions, it feels like, wow, but you're not even going to know it's gone because it's 20,000 out of 1 million.
That's true. Well, we keep saying to ourselves we can't take it with us.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just read my buddy Andy Andrews just did a post. He said, you can own hotels and Boardwalk or you can rent on Baltic. But at the end of the story, no matter which one you do, all the pieces in the board game goes back in the box.
So true.
So here's what I want you to do. I want you to work on generosity, and I want you to work on that exercise to say, all right, let's buy something. Let's look at something we've always wanted, in quotes, ... That when I get there someday, I'm going to do ... I'm going to travel to that place. I'm going to buy that thing, whatever that is. Okay? And I want you to put that amount of money in the middle of the table, and both of you talk about it and process the intellectual understanding that it doesn't matter because it's a small enough percentage of your world that it's like most people buying a biscuit.
We'll do that.
So, like, I've got a friend that I went, he and I were talking about this same thing a few years ago. I went to an event with him, and he's a billionaire. He has 1,000 million. Not 1 million. He has 1,000 million. That's a lot. And he had just bought a $125,000 car, and it was the first new car he had ever bought. And it's a really nice Mercedes, $125,000. And he was feeling a little bit guilty, like maybe he should have given that money, and he got hate mail. Somebody sent him hate mail because he shouldn't have, as a Christian, he shouldn't have spent that much money on a car, and he's feeling a little bit guilty about that. And on the other hand, too, he's like, I don't know if this was wise or not. He's just like a little kid. He's a billionaire.
Where he's coming from.
Yeah, I know, but he's a billionaire. And buying $100,000, I mean, when you have 1,000 million and you spend 100,000, I mean, it's like somebody's dropping a dollar bill out their window of the car. It doesn't show up mathematically. And by the way, it's none of your business what he drives. You get to do your own thing, all of you out there. You don't get to pass judgment on other people, although you think because of social media it's your freaking job. But, so, Carol, I want you to increase your generosity to the level that it makes you touch this same nerve. Mm-hmm. And I want you to increase your spending on a single luxury item that makes you touch this nerve, and that'll cause you to be able to to relax. So we increase our giving, we increase our spending, but only if we do it wrong or when the money's just gone. It didn't change our life.
Yeah. And it's a great exercise to think about it because again, the emotions have not caught up with the math, and so you're having to get pushed through it. But once you start to do this, Carol, over the next year or two,
you'll get used to doing it.
Yes, then it's going
to. You're never going to be a rash, out of control spender. You will not do that. You just can't. It's not possible for you to do it. The number of people that I've seen that think like you think that lose everything because they overspend are zero. They're just not. People just don't make that trip. You will never go over to the land of stupid. You just you'll be so far away from it that it's just not in the cards for you. So you're safe. Mm-hmm. You're safe. You're going to be okay. But what I want you to do is just learn to enjoy some of the money and learn to be generous with some of the money at a level that it really doesn't affect your life, but it really increases your enjoyment for all the years of hard work and saving.
That's what I was going to say. You guys have sacrificed like
you've earned
insane, it. Carol. So
yeah, you've earned it.
Have some fun.
Live like no one else, and now you get to live and give like no one else, and that's the whole thing. And there's nothing wrong with that morally, spiritually. There's nothing wrong with that financially. You are great. You're amazing. I'm so proud of you. This is The Ramsey Show.
It's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality and best-selling author, my daughter, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. And big day today. Rachel is launching a new version of the Rachel Cruz wallet.
A new color.
A new color.
Yes.
It's not a version. That's right.
No, but it is great, though. So, yes, for a limited time, we have a metallic blush wallet, ladies. And so in the wallet, there are 10 card slots. So debit cards, gift cards, membership cards, all of that is in there. And then 5 or 4 sewn in envelopes. So if you're using the envelope system, it's in there. And even, we talk about the cash, how important it is. But those of you on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, it gets to a point that you've been budgeting for a while, and cash isn't always the only way to go about it. And so I know for me, it's always a place just to put receipts, or you have stuff you just stick in. It's kind of like when I think of my bags, my favorite
organizer.
My purses, the bigger, the better, because I can just throw everything in. And so even if you don't use cash, this is still a great option. So it is here, the Rachel Cruz Blush Wallet for a limited time. You can go to RamseySolutions.com. Again, we have a limited quantity.
And then there will be no more.
And there will be no more of the blush. I know, it's so pretty though. So Mother's Day, if you need a gift for Mother's Day, this is a great option. But it's my favorite color for sure.
Yeah,
So
real
pretty.
leather, made in India by...
Yes, Join. We partnered with Join, and they're an incredible organization there. They make authentic leather goods, so this is real leather, and they take people off the streets or in terrible situations and employ them. They give them the opportunity to completely change their family trees. So while you buy this wallet, you're changing your family tree by committing to do something with your money that maybe you've never done before, like being on a budget and using cash, but also you are helping people change their family trees on the other side of the world completely. So Join is an incredible organization, and they make an incredible product. Like it's, what I mean? Like
They do.
it's
It's
so,
really high
I mean, it's so good, you guys. It's so great. So there's that again, RamseySolutions.com.
/store, and it'll put you right there on the metallic blush. You have the other two colors. We have plenty of the other two colors.
Yes, black and camel are the other two original wallets.
They came out last fall.
Yes, so they will be there. But again, limited edition for Mother's Day, the metallic rose gold.
Kate is in Kansas City to start off this hour. Hey, Kate, what's up?
Hi. Thank you guys so much for taking my call.
Our pleasure.
My mother-in-law is 60, and I'm trying to help her with her finances. She has $36,000 in retirement, and if she was to start your baby step, she'd be on baby step 2, and she has $20,000 in student loan debt. So with her budget, she only has like a $500 she could put towards the debt, which means it's going to take her over 3 years to pay off the debt, and then additional 6 months to get the emergency fund in place. So she would only be around age 64 to start actually putting money into retirement. And she says she wants to retire by like 66. So because of all that, she doesn't really want to put anything towards debt right now and just invest in retirement. And I know you never change the order of your baby steps. So I know that's what I want to recommend, and I have, but she just doesn't see it that way. And so I'm hoping you can help me, like, word it in a way that it shows that that's the best way. And then also just your thoughts on her retiring at 66. I don't know if that's the best thing to do with her financial situation.
This is a hard one because emotionally where she's at, though, is she's freaking out because she thinks I have $36,000 in retirement and that's it. And I want to retire at 66 and all my money is going to go to my retirement. I mean, that's your knee-jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. But what you have to realize and what she needs to realize is even having a $20,000 student loan debt is risk. not having other cash in the bank for an emergency fund is risk as well. And so getting to a point when she can clean up all of that, she's able to clean up the debt and have that cash set aside. It's going to put her in such a better place. But the urgency is going to have to kick in because money flows two ways. I mean, money flows in, money flows out. And like you said, her flowing out, she's got about $500 in the budget if you've done a really tight budget. And then she's going to have to figure out what to do between now and then to bring in some extra income to get the student loan paid off even faster.
What does she make?
She makes about $3,000 a month.
Doing what?
She makes dentures.
So she works 40 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. She's not going to like this either, but she needs another job.
Yeah.
And another job and another job. Like 6 jobs. Because let me tell you what she has right now. A fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
None of this is going to happen with what you just described.
Mm-hmm.
If she gets rid of this debt before retirement on the budget you're talking about, I'll be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And because she's not serious about it, because she doesn't have any hope, because she can't see the numbers getting there. And with $500 a month is $6,000 a year. That's $18,000 in 3 years. That is not going to make her be able to retire.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantasy. So she needs some income.
Yeah.
So your father-in-law, was it a divorce or did he pass away?
Divorce.
That long ago?
20 years.
And she's still mad.
Remarried. She was remarried again, and then that didn't work out, and they got divorced a couple of years ago, and they declared bankruptcy from that, so that wiped out any debt she had before that. So.
Except the student loan, because student loans aren't bankruptable.
Well, this was actually a new loan for additional schooling for dental work.
$20,000 to make 36?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, her problem is that in order for any of these things to occur, she's going to have to increase her income. So she's going to be working a lot of hours.
Mm-hmm.
She can actually end up with $100,000 to $200,000 in her nest egg and be debt free by 66 or 67, but not on 40 hours a week making $36,000.
Okay.
She's going to have to add some hours to her life. I know she's tired. I know she doesn't want to do it, but I don't want her to retire and have to eat Alpo either.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the extra job is that makes her a bunch of money, working another 40 hours a week for the next 2 years, but that'll solve a lot of these problems because she can create another $3,000 a month. Bad news is her income sucks. Good news is it's easy to double.
Mm-hmm.
Is she receptive, Kate? Does she listen to you?
I mean, she was willing to meet with me, so that was positive.
What about her son? Is she willing to meet with him?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he needs to step on Mom and say, Mom, you're going to have to up the game here, baby. Because if she's not listening to you, she needs to listen to somebody. Because, it's not a baby steps out of order problem. It's an income problem. Mm-hmm. That's the math breakdown. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is The Ramsey Show, where we talk about your life, your money, and your life. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. Here at Ramsey Solutions, we want to transform so many lives that the toxic culture is disrupted. Imagine a world where it's weird to have a student loan, where people pay cash for their cars, where they know how to operate in their marriage and raise their kids. Imagine a world where they know how to get the job that they love and hire the people that they want on their team and be high-quality, world-class leaders. Imagine being part of an organization that caused that level of disruption to our toxic culture. That's the work we do here. And that's why we have 1,000 folks on our team working together. We create digital products. We create services. We create shows, books, any way we can get to you folks and help you. If you want to join on that crusade, we're currently on the hunt for software engineers with expertise in Ruby on Rails, Java, C#, front-end technologies. If you're a UX designer, SEO, content marketing specialist, we'd love to talk to you. We're hiring about 300 people this year. And also sales positions, also positions of all kinds. HR positions, we got tons of them. If you want to find out more about what's happening at Ramsey and the available jobs, text Work That Matters to 33789. Text Work That Matters to 33789. And you can find out about all of the open opportunities that are here. Carter is with us in Billings, Montana. Hey, Carter, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I got a funny question. So we probably have too much money wrapped up in our cars, but they're paid off. And we have very little debt, maybe, $24,000 in the camper, and that's about it. And then we have a mortgage, no second, no nothing. And we own some real estate on the side, free and clear. It's just raw land. I feel kind of silly having this much money wrapped up in cars.
How much do you have wrapped up in cars?
Well, probably between two of them, I could sell them for probably $95,000. Come away with $95,000 in cash.
What's your household income?
$200.
Okay. It's not completely out of line. It does feel. I can understand how it feels silly, but the rule of thumb we use is that you shouldn't own things with motors and wheels or motors that totaled up equals more than half your annual income.
The camper.
Camper puts you over.
Yes, it does.
And so, it has debt. Years, so the thing I would sell is the camper.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think, Carter? Yeah, you don't like that?
I'm just thinking, let's take it 2 years from now and the cars depreciate, then it drops below our, the annual income. I felt kind of silly that we paid cash for that stuff, and we could have put it towards, I don't know what else we'd put it towards. But
I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't pay cash for it.
Right.
So I don't feel silly for paying cash for it. I feel silly for buying it, maybe.
Yeah.
But, you're right up at the top. You got a lot tied up in things going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But you got a great income, and you can offset that. But you do need to, it sounds like you've been sloppy, and you need to tighten up your decision-making and tighten up your plan, right?
Correct.
That's all it is. You don't have anything here that's devastating. You're not going bankrupt. You're not... you're not way over in the stupid zone where I got to go, what? But it's not that. But it's close, and that's why you're feeling the pinch. Because the bottom line is when you've got more than half your annual income tied up in things that are going down in value, it's hard to become wealthy.
Sure.
It's a simple principle, and that's what it comes down to. So how long have you made $200,000?
Several years, decade.
Okay. What are the cars?
It's a 1-ton Ram pickup, 2019, and then a Toyota Highlander.
Okay. All right.
2016.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would say the cars aren't the problem at this point. Like you said, they're paid for, all of it, and so I get how it feels kind of.
And I'm pretty sure we could pay the camper off darn easy this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, knock it out. Knock the camper out if you want to hold on. That's fine. And then just draw a line in the sand and go, we're not going to be back up here again.
Right. Okay.
And so what happened was I can tell you which car was purchased last, obviously based on the year, but also based on just how this story's going down. You bought this big but expensive truck, over the top, killer, massively wonderful truck, and you just completely boy impulsed on it, and you're feeling regret.
Well, it's middle of the line, and my old truck was 22 years old, and it's been paid off forever. So, yeah, you could say that.
Yeah. And so, you could have, you're wishing you had bought a truck about between the two,
Correct.
And not over the top. That's you got that taste of regret on the back of your tongue, and that's all it is. And I've had that taste. That's how I know what it tastes like. So I get it. I understand. So just the thing is, do a little autopsy on the whole situation and go, okay, what do I never want to do again as a result of this story?
Spend that much money.
Well, what did I do wrong that I wished I hadn't done? Okay,
right.
And so, that's what I ask myself when I do that. I've done a lot of stupid stuff. My goal is to not do the same stupid thing as I figure out what it is and just put that, okay, I got that one behind me. I don't have to do that one again because I've already done that one. I'll be another one, but I don't have to do that one. And if you have a big enough pile of stupid things that you never do again, people call you wise.
Like, you know how to navigate this.
You know your way through this. It's because I know what stupid looks like. And lots of it. But the problem is when you do the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
And you just keep going back to the same dumb thing, and then that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah,
so I think the emotion of this is what's more important than the actual math.
Yeah, I mean, if you tighten up the budget, you pay off the camper, all of it, you're going to look up in 12 months, Carter, and probably feel a completely different set of emotions right now than that little feeling you're feeling.
Yeah, and truthfully, if you say, okay, these two parts of the decision were the bad parts, I will never do those two things again, it's easier to put all of this behind you and move on and just leave the trucks and the cars in place and get on with it. Don't do that again, that kind of a thing. Yeah, because you didn't go over. Well, you did with the camper. You did go over, but but there's nothing here that's requiring it to all be undone. It doesn't do any good. Could sell the camper, though. Still could. Walter's with us in Vermont. Hey, Walter, what's up?
Thank you so much for taking my call. My wife and I have an opportunity to refinance our mortgage. Our mortgage company has, because the interest rates have gone down significantly since we originally got the mortgage just a couple of years ago when we bought the house. Mm-hmm. They've actually given us.
What's your current rate?
Current rate is 3.375.
What are they offering you?
Drop it down to 2.875. It's not a huge drop.
No.
It would save us $37 per month. The only thing is they'd kick in.
What's your loan balance?
Loan balance is $154,000.
Okay, you're going to save 0.5% a year on $154,000. You're going to save $750 a year. What's the closing costs?
No closing costs because they're gonna
nothing out of pocket at all.
Nothing out of pocket at all. The only thing they do, though, because it's an FHA loan,
it's a streamline.
They're tacking on $900 onto the loan amount for insurance.
Okay,
but so nothing out of pocket
per year.
No. Well, it would take the $154 and add on $900 to it.
No, are you adding $900 per year?
No.
Or one time?
No, just one time.
Well, then it takes you a little over a year to break even because you're saving $750 a year on 0.5% savings. And it takes you a little over a year to break even. If you're going to stay in the house 3 or 4 years, it's going to make a little bit of sense. This is not a life-changing thing. It's $750 a year. It's probably not worth screwing with. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Suzanne is with us in Utica, New York. Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. I have a problem with I sold some stocks
and my advisor had told me that they would not be taxed or counted as income. And when I did my income tax online, which I didn't push the button yet to send it, but it's showing that now I owe the federal over $1,000 and the state over $1,000. And I just wondered what did I do wrong besides listen to maybe some bad advice?
Maybe the online software sucks.
Okay.
That's possible. You may be getting a wrong result from the online software. What are you using? TurboTax?
No, it was the IRS.
Oh, God. Okay.
.gov.
Yeah, that's bad. All right. So
Okay.
What did you sell? How much did you sell?
Yeah, I sold $35,000
Worth. Okay.
stock.
And do you know what your basis was in that?
Does that mean how much I paid?
How much you paid for that stock that sold for $35,000?
Yeah. The agency that holds my stock
Yes.
doesn't have that information.
They don't?
No.
Why?
What happened? Well, let's see. When I got the stock, it was purchased through an employer, and I can't remember if I purchased it through payroll and they matched some. I think that's the way it went. And then when I met this advisor, we put the stocks into a company that she was advising me to do, and
I mean, did you sell the stocks, the old stocks?
I got certificates.
And then you moved this. How did you move certificates into something else?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I mean, I've got all the paperwork. I've been
So
away,
how did you? What did you
and
put in the tax software that calculated that you owed $1,000? You'd have to have your basis to do the calculation.
Nope. How much I sold?
No, you sold it for $35,000. What you paid for
Right,
it,
and then there was-
the difference
there was
in
no
what the
cost
difference in what
basis.
you paid for it and what you sold it for is your gain, and that's what you're taxed on.
Okay, so they taxed me on the $35,000 because I didn't have a cost basis.
Yeah, see, that's not right. You do have a cost basis of some kind, and it should not be.
Okay.
Your tax would be more than $1,000 on $35,000.
Okay.
Okay, so you have a mess. So, and I can't untangle this barrel of fish hooks on the radio. But what I'm going to do is this: how old are you?
I have some homework. I'm 67.
67. Okay.
Yes.
And it's just you?
Yes.
You're widowed or what?
I'm widowed.
Okay. We're going to take care of you. We take care of widows. So I'm going to pay for one of our people that we recommend for tax advice, a tax professional in the New York area, to take care of you free.
Oh, thank you.
Because the IRS software sucks and you have a messed up lack of information and you're getting ready to get yourself into a mess that you don't need to get into. You probably don't owe a lot of taxes, but you've got to have some help scratching through and getting your proper information together to prove that. And we'll help you do that. I'll get you with one of our tax ELPs, one of the tax professionals that we recommend. They will take care of you as a gift from us. Kelly will take care of that. I'm going to put you on hold, and she's going to pick up and do that. So, Rachel, usually when you sell stock, if you had a broker, that you bought it through, that company has the records of what you paid for it, your basis. And the difference in what you pay for it and what you sell it for is taxable. Mm-hmm. And if it's been held longer than a year, it's taxable at 15% unless you make over $400,000. So in her case, she'd be taxed at 15% on the gain. And so if they're showing her gain is $35,000, the $1,000 in taxes is not right. It'd be a lot more than that.
Right. Yeah.
So we've got to get the actual basis figured out, and you may have to go back to the former employer, or you may have to file some kind of estimated.
No, that's what I was going to say. How do you even?
The IRS has a process for filing an estimated basis when but it has to be based on logic. You can't just make it up. I mean,
right.
You have to try to make a series of assumptions, and a tax advisor can walk you through that. So. But somebody should have the basis somewhere on that, Poor Suzanne sitting there dealing with the IRS.gov. Oh my goodness. I will tell you this: there's if you have a simple return, online is fine, and we have a product called Smart Tax that's like $17. And if you're just doing your 1040 easy and you want to file online, it's real easy to run it on Smart Tax, and you can get that at RamseySolutions.com in the store, or if you have a complicated return or a situation where you need some help like that, you need a professional in your corner. We have the ELPs in each area that we recommend that are tax professionals that do tax preparing, and they cost more than $17. But you're going to save a lot more because you've got a small business or you got a transaction like that or something else going on, and you can get all of that at Ramsey Solutions.
Yeah, anytime there's those complicated or more intimidating parts of money, it's always good to bring a professional in. So whether it's real estate, taxes, investing, I mean, anything that just feels like it's a little overwhelming, it's a little complicated, you may not even be able to, if you can't explain it to someone else, that means you need to learn and you need to grow in knowledge. And part of that is sitting down with a professional and letting them help you. I mean, these people, I can't believe it, but breathe in and out this information day and day. They love it. I mean, they're, these tax professionals, this is what they do. And they see every situation. They've had probably Suzanne's circumstance before in their office. They know what to do. Yeah. And you want to bring them on because, like you said, it's going to save so much time and money.
Jonathan is in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hey, Jonathan, what's up?
Hey, Dave, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, good. How can we help? I was going to answer better than I deserve, but what do I know? I'm just wandering along lost here. How can I help?
Yeah. So I developed a product that's industry specific, and I was wondering if you could give me some advice on when to actually file a patent. Is there a number of units that I need to sell or like a dollar amount before I file my patent to, I guess, prove it in the market or take it to market to be mass producer licensed or whatever?
You can patent a prototype. The patent space is full of a bunch of shysters, and so you don't need to pay somebody big dollars. I mean, there's things I've heard people pay $250,000 to get a patent attorney and all this, and you do not need to do that. My understanding is, and I've had lots of clients that have done this, have patented a prototype for, it usually costs around $10,000, but you've got to work your way through the process, and you have to have is it a product, a hard product?
Yes, sir. And
okay.
I have a friend who also has a bunch of trademarks and patents, and he introduced me to his patent attorney. She did a patent search through a legit firm and came back that there's no other product like this.
What did she charge you for that?
$1,000.
That's good. What will she charge you to run the patent?
$2,500, $500 of which is for the draftsman fee.
That's a reasonable deal. Yeah, maximum of $10,000 out of pocket. But I've heard there's all these things on the internet where they'll help you market the product and help you get the patent and all this stuff, and they don't do anything.
What is it, Jonathan? I'm just curious.
It's for lack of a better term, it's a tool pouch. It helps us carry tools. I'm a lineman by trade, and it helps us carry tools.
Cool.
That's very
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I would spend the money with her to do it. It'd be that simple. We've got bunches and bunches of trademarks. We don't have any patents, but we've trademarked everything around here like crazy. So I spend a lot of money on that. Got a lot of knowledge on copyrights and trademarks because that's the publishing world and the, all of these images and things that we own here are part of it. That and URLs. My God. But so I think if you can keep it down under $10,000 and you have the cash to do it and you get it patented, you can do it with a prototype. That's all you got to do. And I would do that sooner rather than later. Scripture of the day, James 1:17. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. William James says, most people never run far enough on their first win to find out if they've got a second. Oh, Anna's with us in Phoenix. Hey, Anna, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Hi. So I started listening to you in July. I was $37,000 in debt. My fiance, he was around $130 to the IRS, $1,000. And so it got to a point where now I'm at 19. And we didn't separate, but he moved down to New Mexico to try to figure out. He did an application of OIC.
Yeah.
To try to see if they could help him out. Most of it is really interest. And I just wanted to know, like, are we doing, like, the right thing? I mean, I make around $35,000 to $40,000 a year. So
what does he make?
He was making $80,000 because he works in the oil field, but it went down. So now he.
So was he 1099 and he just didn't pay taxes?
Yeah.
Oh my God, has he quit doing that?
Well, he found a job where they take out taxes.
Uh-huh.
So he's trying to find a second job.
What does he make now at the new job?
No, he's trying to find. He's making 40 to 50.
So he got his pay cut in half, but the oil field dried up, or what?
Yeah, it's drying up. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So he moved down there.
How much did he pay for this OIC?
Well, he has a friend that she used to work for the IRS, so she's kind of guiding him of what she recommends for him to do. We're just waiting on a response, and he's going to start, like I said, he's been saving up money to see, start paying off he has a lien on his name for the New Mexico state.
Yeah.
So he's trying to pay that off first and then see what the IRS says.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to give you much hope on the OIC. Okay.
Yeah.
Offer in compromise is what that stands for, and that is when the IRS observes that you have no assets and no income, so they're never getting their money. You basically have to prove that you are completely broke and don't have an income, and that's not the case here. He has an income, and so I don't have a lot of hope that they're going to just forgive this or large chunks of it. And even if they do, they're going to want a lump sum. And so if they, instead of $95,000 or $120,000, if they come in and say, "Oh, we'll settle for $20,000," they're going to want their $20,000 right then, and he doesn't have any money.
Well, he's not at one now. They have him at $140,000.
Yeah, but if they settle, if they did an offer in compromise and settled for $20,000, they're going to want their $20,000 right then. It's not a payment plan.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but the truth is very few OICs get through. I probably watched 100 of them try, and I might have seen 10 go through.
Okay.
Over the years. It's just the burden that they put on you to prove that you have no money also means that you have no money to settle with them when they do finally take it. So it's a two-edged sword in a sense. It gets you coming and going. So
and IRS debt moves to the front of everything.
Yeah. And so I think if I were him, I'm going to work the OIC through, but I'm not going to work it through for 2 years while it continues to double and triple with these penalties going up and these interest rates going up. You follow me?
Yeah.
So, give this thing 90, 120 days, maybe 6 months, and in the meantime, be working like a crazy person and piling up cash. I want a big old pile of cash. I want him working 100 hours a week, and I want a big old pile of cash, like $40,000-$50,000 piled up.
Yeah.
You didn't sound real enthusiastic. That's your only shot, kiddo.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why he ended up living out there. He moved out there so he could figure out that situation while I fixed my situation. And,
I don't know why you can figure out something in New Mexico you can't figure out in Arizona.
I know. Well, he's trying to get his CDL now. he's finding ways where he don't have to go to class and pay that whole amount and, try to get CDL to get a job down here. But
Okay, let me tell you what I'm hearing. How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay. I'm going to be your Uncle Dave for a minute. Don't you dare pay a dime of this until you're married. This is his, problem. This young man needs to solve this freaking problem.
Yeah, that's why I told him, I'm not going to get married. He doesn't want to get married yet because of his situation, but that's why, it was better for me to pay off my situation. I was,
you need to get your mess cleaned up, and you can be his biggest cheerleader. But he needs to go. He needs to roll up his sleeves, go make a whole bunch of money, do nothing but work like a crazy man, and have a big old pile of money. When this thing blows up and the OIC doesn't go through, he can get started on it. Because if he throws $50,000 at it right quick, because he's worked 100 hours a week, then he's got a good start on it. It's the only way it's going away, because the IRS just does not go away. It's just they're not bankruptable. They're just going to be there, and it's not going to get anything but worse. So the sooner he, reverses the trend on this, the better off he's going to be. And I just hear you caring about this and being more logical about it than he is.
Well, it always kind of concerns me sometimes when, Anna, you're the one calling and he's not. So, and again, maybe it's situational and it's today you were able to pick up the phone call, but I want him to be more involved than you are in his mess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Try to be nice. Anna, I feel for you, girl.
You were really good.
I feel for you, but be aware. You need...
You're set up here for a problem, kiddo. Be careful. Jessica's in Las Vegas. Hi, Jessica. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm super excited. I wanted to call as soon as we paid off our debt. We paid off our debt, our $27,000 in 3 months.
Congrats.
Thank you so much, you guys. I'm so happy. Such a weight, we lifted off our, shoulders, however you say. I'm so nervous. I'm sorry. My question is, we are now on step 3 officially, and, it's saving 3 to 6 months. And I was wondering do we still have to, go gazelle intensity, or can we now sort of,
relax?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were going to ask, can we just relax? Since now we're on baby step 3. I wasn't telling you to, Jessica. No, the gazelle intensity continues until baby step 3 is done. So the same intensity you guys used to pay off all of that debt. I think you said 3 months, Jessica, which is incredible. So congratulations. Keep that intensity until that baby step 3 is paid off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I'm sorry, saved. That cash is saved.
Here's the problem, Jessica. You when you don't have, I've noticed this my whole life. When I'm broke, is like when I attract emergencies. Like emergencies just come find me. And when I'm not broke, they stay away. They go to other people's house. And so having the emergency fund is like emergency repellent. It keeps the mosquitoes away. It keeps the emergencies from coming in. And if they do come in, you got the money for them. And so it is vitally important that you become debt-free other than the house with great intensity, and that you finish the emergency fund with great intensity. But you're going to do it very fast. Because compared to where you were 5 months ago with $27,000 in debt and no money, once you have $12,000 in your emergency fund and no debt, your life is completely changed, and you have done it. Congratulations.
It's amazing.
But yeah, you do need to continue to lean in. Sounds like y'all been very intense, and I congratulate you for that. And it won't take that much more. A little bit more. I mean, if you think about it, if you did 27 that fast, how fast can you do 12? And that's all it is. And so then it's behind you forever, and you've got Murphy repellent in your pocket. Rachel, great show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
James Childs, our producer. Kelly Daniel, our associate producer and phone screener. I'm Dave Ramsey. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.